This video is going to discuss ratios and rates. A ratio is just a comparison of two different quantities or two different numbers. We can write ratios using colons, so 2 to 3. We can write them as fractions, 2 to 3, or we can write them in words, 2 to 3. In this class, we'll be writing our ratios as fractions because that's going to allow us to work mathematically with these ratios. So for example, write each ratio as a fraction in lowest terms, 16 to 40. So I'm going to put the 16 as a numerator, 40 as the denominator. And then to put this in lowest terms, I'm going to look for common factors or things that I can divide out of both the top and the bottom. And let's see, 16 and 40, well, I know they're both divisible by 4. That's what just comes to the top of my head. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 40 divided by 4 is 10. And then let's see, did I miss anything? Yeah, 4 and 10 are both even numbers. So I can divide both of those by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And we can't go any further. This is my final answer. My ratio 16 to 40 reduces down to 2 to 5. Here's another example. 2 1/3 to 1 1/6. First thing I'm going to do is change these mixed numbers into improper fractions so that I can work with them. So 2 1/3, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 2 1/3 turns into 7/3. And then 1 times 6 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 1 1/6 turns into 7/6. So my ratio is 7/3 to 7/6. This fraction bar right here means division. I can rewrite this problem as 7/3 divided by 7/6. And to divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. So that means copy down the first number, dot, so change to multiplication, flip, copy, dot, flip. So change to multiplication, and then flip the second fraction, that's multiplying by the reciprocal. To multiply fractions, we can just go straight across and multiply 7 times 6, and then 3 times 7. But to save a little bit of time, if I recognize that there are any common factors, I can just go ahead and cancel those out right now. And there is a common factor of 7, definitely, so I'm just going to go ahead and cancel the 7s out. And then I'm left with 6 over 3. And we can reduce this further. Both of these numbers are divisible by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And this ratio becomes 2 to 1. So 2 1/3 to 1 1/6 is equivalent to the ratio 2 to 1. All right, one more like this, 0.5 to 3. So write that as a fraction, 0.5 over 3. I'm not going to leave a decimal in this fraction. I'm going to simplify this. And so if I multiply the top and bottom by 10, or just move the decimal one place over on the top, and then one place over on the bottom, that'll get rid of or clear that decimal. So that gives me, if I move the decimal one place over on the top, I've got a 5. One place over on the bottom, 30. And so now we have the fraction 5 over 30. We can reduce this. Both of these numbers are divisible by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 30 divided by 5 is 6. And my ratio becomes 1 to 6. Now, if I had noticed this, maybe to save a little time, another way I could have gotten this same answer is, notice if you take 0.5 and you multiply it by 2, that turns the 0.5 into a 1. That gets rid of that decimal. And then if you do the same thing to the bottom, 2 times 3 is 6. So there's just another way of getting that same answer. So a ratio is just a comparison of two numbers, and we can write that as a fraction. A rate is also a comparison of two numbers, and in fact, a rate is really a special type of ratio. Rates allow us to compare numbers that have different units. So in my example, I have something with dollars, and then my second number has different units, hours. So technically this would be a rate, which is a special type of ratio. When we're dealing with rates, we frequently write them as what's called unit rates. And that word unit means we want to rewrite the rate so it has a denominator of 1. And so let me do an example just to explain what I mean by this. Write as a unit rate $65 to 4 hours. So first I write it as a fraction, $65 over 4 hours. To make this a unit rate, the denominator has to be 1. My denominator is 4, so that means I have to divide the top and bottom by 4. I'm going to take 65 and divide that by 4. 4 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. That gives me a remainder of 2. Bring down the 5. 4 goes into 25 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. So remainder of 1. And then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to add a decimal and add some zeros just to keep going here. So I add a decimal, I add a 0, and I bring that 0 down. 4 goes into 10. Let's see, we need a little more space here. 2 times. Yeah, 4 goes into 10 2 times. There we go. 2 times 4 is 8. Remainder of 2. I'm going to have to add another 0 and bring it down. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Finally, I have no remainder. So 65 divided by 4 is 16.25. All right, so my ratio is 16.25 over 1. And this is dollars per hour. So I'm going to write this as $16.25 per hour. So my unit rate is giving me number of dollars per 1 hour or per hour. One place where unit rates come up frequently is in the grocery store, and specifically in the context of unit prices. A unit price is a special type of unit rate. It's the price, so dollars, per ounce or per pound, whatever we're measuring our item in. So let's find the unit price of each. And the advantage of finding the unit price is we can use it to determine which one is a better buy. So I have a bottle of shampoo that is 16 ounces. That costs $4.68. And then I have a bottle of shampoo that is 24 ounces for $7.80. Let's compute the unit price of each. When you're computing unit price, you always want to take dollars divided by the other unit. So dollars always goes on top. So I have to take the $468 and divide that by 16. All right, let's see. 16 goes into 46 only 2 times. And then notice the decimal stays where it is with this division. So 16 goes into 46 2 times. 2 times 16 is 32. Subtract, that gives me a remainder of 14. Bring down the 8. 16 goes into 148 9 times. 9 times 16 is 144. Subtract, I get a remainder of 4. I'm going to add a 0 and bring it down. 16 goes into 42 times. 2 times 16 is 32. Remainder of 8. Okay, we need one more 0. Bring it down. 16 goes into 80 exactly 5 times. So finally, no more remainder because 5 times 16 is 80. And so that's my unit price. My unit price is $0.2925 per ounce, or just a little more than 29 cents per ounce. The second bottle of shampoo, we need to take $7.80 divided by 24. So again, unit price, always do the price on top. So $7.80 divided by 24. 24 goes into 78 3 times. Again, see how the decimal stayed where it is? 3 times 24 is 72. Subtracting, it's 6. So bring down the 0. 24 goes into 62 times. 2 times 24 is 48. Subtract, I get 12. I need another 0. 24 goes into 120 exactly 5 times. Yeah, 5 times 24 is 120. Finally, no remainder. So my unit price for the second bottle of shampoo is $0.325 per ounce, or a little more than 32 cents per ounce. So which item is the better buy? That's just asking you which of these items has the smaller unit price. And so it looks like my 16-ounce bottle of shampoo is actually the better buy. And so the unit price is what's giving me that information. I'm going to stop this video here. As always, please reach out if anything is unclear.